Alright. Well, Monday Night Raw is officially in the books, and now it's time for the world's famous Raw reports. There are some moments, yeah. There's some things to talk about in this show. Um, Monday Night Raw opened up with masked men coming in. That led to Seth Rollins going in the ring for a promo. Seth Rollins said he created the Vision and he will be the one to kill the Vision. Rollins said he doesn't care if you're on the shelf like Breakker or Reed, or if you are a peon like Theory or Logan Paul. Rollins said if you stand beside Paul Heyman, then consider yourself marked for death. Rollins said 2 weeks ago he had the satisfaction of putting a chair into Paul Heyman's back and stomping Heyman's head into the mat. Paul Heyman walked out from the backstage area looking disheveled with his eyes red like he hasn't shaved in a while. The fans chanted F you Heyman, and it was getting muted on the broadcast. Rollins invited Heyman out to the ring. Rollins said that letting Heyman into his circle was the worst decision he made in his life. Heyman said that he'll cut Heyman out of this business like the cancer that he is. Heyman said he wasn't going to come out here, but he wouldn't miss this for the world. Heyman said F-A-F-O, which means F around and find out. So then at the end, Heyman said F5 at the end. That led to Brock Lesnar making his return to support his buddy Heyman. Heyman slowly went down to the ring. He was surrounded by masked men. Lesnar ran around ringside and beat up all of the masked men that were around the ringside. Lesnar suplexed a bunch of them on the floor, which looked brutal, by the way. I don't think those indie wrestlers knew what they signed up for. Lesnar tossed a guy onto the steel steps and suplexed another guy into the barricade. Lesnar went into the ring to knock 3 more masked men down. Lesnar hit a German suplex, and at F5, Lesnar hit another German suplex onto a masked man. Lesnar and Rollins were alone in the ring as the fans chanted holy crap for this moment. The lights went out, and then here comes Obi Femi. Obi got a huge ovation. Obi slowly walked down to the ring while the fans were chanting Obi and shouting for his entrance. Rollins was laughing against the turnbuckle while Rollins was getting ready to go into the ring. Lesnar was getting ready to go into the ring. Femi went into the ring as the fans chanted Obi and Lesnar was smiling. Rollins walked towards Lesnar, so Lesnar looked at him. Rollins left the ring and Lesnar walked towards Femi. And Femi hit the fall from grace on Lesnar. And Cole shouted holy crap for that moment. The fans absolutely loved it. The commentating was going crazy. They acted like something like this has never happened to Brock Lesnar. But, yeah. They acted like this has never happened to Brock Lesnar at all. Lesnar left the ring while Femi stood tall in the ring. And they booked this pretty good, with Obi dominating Brock Lesnar in the first confrontation, which sets up future matches with Lesnar to gain the advantage. Femi won the initial encounter, and it was the right way to structure it. So, a video package aired about CM Punk's interaction with the Usos in the main event. The Usos didn't like what Punk said, so Jimmy punched Punk with the microphone, and Punk was knocked down to end the show. That was last week. Then the first match was a Grande Americano versus the original Americano. This match went 10 minutes. Nothing really spectacular. Al Grande Americano won. A cheap win for Al Grande. Took about 85% of the offense in this match. I don't think he might win, but Grande got a cheap victory thanks to the dreaded metal plates. I wonder if they'll keep this going until WrestleMania, where the loser might have the mask taken off, leading to the original Grande getting the win, which would be Chad Gable. And then a sports car was showing up the arena. Roman Reigns got out of the back of the car, and the fans cheered while chanting OTC. The Usos walked up to Roman, and they were smiling. Reigns said he knew it felt good. And Reigns said, if you run your mouth, there's going to be consequences. Reigns spoke into the camera saying that all of his family should be offended by what CM Punk said about his father. And then Danhausen made his entrance. They had a microphone on him and he did his promo. Danhausen had a t-shirt gun and he only shot one into the crowd. Danson had a Cannonhausen t-shirt into the crowd using a cannon. He plugged his t-shirts and told the fans to spend their money on Danhausen. Then he got cursed and then he said that Danhausen 316. And then Liv Morgan appeared in a video package saying that taking out Finn has been part of her plan since she joined Judgment Day. Liv said that Finn was on borrowed time and he didn't even realize it. Liv mentioned she only tolerates him because of Dominic. But Liv added it's been a pleasure watching him fall from grace, and Liv said you couldn't hang with the Judgment Day anymore because he's a pathetic loser. Liv stated that Finn has taught them well, and because it's the Judgment Day, and Liv said that JD is finally free from Balor holding him down. Liv pointed out that Daddy Dom is the AAA Mega Championship and will get his IC title back, and Liv said that Raquel is the future champion who will handle Stephanie Vaquer tonight. And then Liv stated at WrestleMania she'll be the women's champion. And then Roman Reigns and the Usos are backstage. Jimmy said that everything CM Punk is saying isn't landing. Jimmy said the only thing Punk mentioned is about Reigns being a part-timer. Reigns talked about how his dad and the Usos were always on the road. Reigns said they had paid their dues. Reigns emphasized that what matters to him is that he's there for his wife and his kids and he's a full-time father. Jay was upset because Punk didn't give them an apology. Reigns said he didn't need an apology, but the Usos do, and Reigns will get it from Punk. And then next up was AJ Lee versus Bayley. This was a decent match. They got aggressive as the match went on, which made sense for the story since they are friends, and it took them a few minutes to bring the intensity. Lee looks better than ever in the ring, mainly because when she was in her first run, when the women's matches rarely went that long. So, and then AJ Lee won with a submission with the Black Widow, and this match went 11 minutes, so Bayley just keeps on losing. J.D. McDonough was arguing with Adam Pearce. Pearce said that Dominic is not medically clear. Penta walked up with his IC title and went towards the match for the matchup next. And then AJ and Bayley were shown in the ring after the match. Lee extended her hand and Bayley gave Lee a big hug. Bayley left the ring to let Lee celebrate the win some more. Bayley found a fan with a replica Divas title and posed for a picture. And then Becky Lynch came from behind, threw Lee into the video board by the entrance. Lynch beat up Lee in the aisle and sent her into the barricades around the ring. Lynch yelled at the fans around them that the attack was broken up by some officials. Lynch got a hold of the women's IC title and hit Lee in the head with it. So I figured that's going to set up a match between them at WrestleMania. So yeah, they got to fill up the WrestleMania card. So Penta versus Dragon Lee. This was a good match. This went 11 minutes. With Penta getting the win. There was a strong chemistry between them, which isn't surprising since they have similar styles. I believe WWE let them go out and perform freely to deliver an entertaining match. Lee came close to winning several times, which was great to see, but then Penta hit a Mexican Destroyer to finish Lee and secure the win. And then Paul Heyman was looking sad in the locker room. Logan Paul and Austin Theory showed up to support him. Theory wanted to go after Seth Rollins, but Heyman shut that down, saying that's not a good strategy. Heyman said that they have no more leverage and no more power. Heyman said they need titles. Heyman said that they need to go back in contention for the Usos tag team titles and that they can have leverage. Heyman said that they focus on the two of them. The Usos Theory said the pressure is coming from the Usos. Heyman said that his vision. Logan, if you want them. And then Heyman said that if this is his vision. Logan said if you want them to go after the titles, then consider it done. Logan said that because they loved Heyman so much. And they'll get LA Knight too. So that will probably lead to a tag team match, I'm guessing, at WrestleMania. So they gotta fill up that card, the 2-night card. The Maxine made her entrance with her generic theme song. I don't know why they keep giving these wrestlers like generic theme songs. They make it interesting. This went about 5 minutes. Natalia buried Natty. Yeah. Dupree went from being... Dupree wasn't like... hasn't been featured much ever since she lost that title. And she didn't really get a chance to really shine. But hopefully things will change for Dupree. Natty won. That would give her boost to her heel persona. And then next was the Randy Orton interview because, well, the blind spot doesn't matter anymore. Randy Orton showing talking to the phone, saying it was good to see this person recently. Orton said that you're right, that it was the right time. Orton said he appreciated this person doing this and he'll see him soon. Orton ended the call. Cole tried to talk to Orton, but Orton said he had to change his mind. He said no interview. Orton said ever since Friday, people have been talking his ear off. Orton said somebody said something profound to him. Orton said it made him think and understand why, who he is and what he is. Orton said they made him understand what he did to Cody, and last Friday on SmackDown, I'm a killer. So Orton was talking to somebody on the phone. So there's rumors it could be The Rock since they did that whole thing with Cena. But so we'll see who that is. Javon Evans spoke to his buddy Dragon Lee. Lee was holding his neck. Kofi Kingston interrupted, so Evans talked to Kofi like they have talked over the next few weeks. Kofi said it's all about who you associate yourself with. Kofi said that some people will be dragging you down. Evans said he's not interested in Kofi's advice. Grace Wallen walked in saying he's not sure what you see in Evans, and Kofi said that people say that about Waller. Danhausen walked up to them, making references to the New Day, and Kofi said they don't want Danhausen to join them. Danhausen was making references to New Day did in the past. and then Kofi pushed Waller towards Danhausen and said, "You are cursed." And so Waller is cursed. So next up was Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Raquel Rodriguez. And this was a 10-minute match. It was a great match. It was a good match. Raquel pulled up Vaquer for a slam, but Vaquer did a roll-up of death and used her body to lie on top of Raquel for the pinfall win. The most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, the roll-up. And then also Io Sky came in to attack Liv Morgan. And there was nobody to save her. So, because she got knocked down by Raquel Rodriguez. And then Bayley looks sad backstage. Lyra shouted at her saying she'll help her get to WrestleMania. And then they'll do it together. While this is going on, Maxine was looking sad backstage. So Austin Theory talked to her. And Logan Paul approached. So Theory left. Asuka and Kairi Sane approached Bayley and Lyra. Asuka complained about them costing her last week. She said that they are not ready for Asuka. After Asuka left, Kairi told Bayley and Lyra to stay away from them, and Asuka yelled for them. And Bayley said they are going after the tag team titles. And Lyra suggested that maybe they talk to Pierce, and Bayley liked that. So, interesting dynamic between Asuka and Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane looks scared, like Asuka is just like abusing her, talking her down. So there'll probably be like some big ladder match, gauntlet match at WrestleMania. And then it got made official that it will be Obi Femi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. The Usos were shown walking backstage when they saw LA Knight. LA said that the Vision had the Usos and Knight's name in the mouth. Knight said he can't help but notice the Usos getting cozy with Roman. Jimmy said it's family business, so Jay told LA to mind his own business. Knight said he can appreciate family business. Knight said that he loves the Usos, but if you talk about the bloodline, they cannot be on the same page. Jimmy understood and touched fists with him, while Jay didn't want to touch fists. Knight said, yeah, to end it. So this is the third week in a row with a main event promo segment between Roman Reigns, with the main event promo. This time Roman Reigns is involved. And I thought the Roman Reigns looked really good in his promo. CM Punk they went back and forth between each other. There's a lot There's a lot of stuff that they said. Roman Reigns stood in the ring. Reigns said that he knows that he told the fans to acknowledge him, and he knows that they hear that back there and whose show this is. Roman said at the end of the day, he is the beginning, he is the middle, and you already know who closes the show. The OTC. Reigns said you gotta forgive him because Phil gets confused and thinks this is his show. Reigns called for Phil to come out to handle business. CM Punk made his entrance and he was cheered as usual. Punk walked around the ring and stood on the commentating table. Punk kept on walking around. Roman Reigns welcomed CM Punk to his ring and the main event. Punk mentioned Reigns using his government name. Punk said that his family and friends can call him Phil. That led to Punk saying he could call Reigns Titty Taiki or whatever his real name is. Punk said he won't call him Joe because that would be insulting to his real Samoan who he loves very much. And that's a Samoa Joe reference. And it's funny how he'll like Samoa Joe. Considering that all-out brawl where Samoa Joe was the one that broke him up. Reigns said you should call Joe to remind you who your tribal chief is. Paul wondered if Reigns was sending his other family after him. Reigns said he was giving them permission to do so. Well, they're gonna do it. Punk said, "Great to be alive," his line, and then Punk said he's a little bit surprised that Reigns hasn't taken a swing at him. Punk said he's already won at WrestleMania. He's already won because he's in Roman's head. Roman said you would expect Punk to think like that, but as you can hear, Roman is on everybody's mind all the time. Reigns said that Punk will say anything like how Punk got Reigns in the main event. Punk said that Phil hasn't main evented anything this year. Reigns said that Phil couldn't main event a live event in Europe, let alone the main event of WrestleMania. Reigns told Punk to say something special. Punk said that they are calling for Punk, but he didn't show up, so Reigns said his cousins did. Punk said that he is a guy who crosses the line. Punk said that he deserved what he got last week, and it was the right message. Punk said that this was the right message by the wrong messenger. Punk wondered who the real tribal chief is. Reigns said that he heard this for the past 5 years. Reigns said that Punk repeats the same crap that people have been saying about him over the last 5 years. Reigns wanted Punk to figure out what the top dollar earner is and go ask your wife. Reigns was about to leave. Punk said, "Young boy, you can't leave yet." So things got a little bit tense. Not really, but Punk told Reigns that this is going to be the last time Roman Reigns is in the main event. Punk said he's going to lift up Reigns by Punk's beautiful head and hair, smash Reigns with his knee, and beat Roman Reigns on the grandest stage of them all. Reigns said he didn't want to get here because this is so much rich history to tap into. Reigns said that Punk is delusional. We all know Punk is great on the mic, but he can't phase Roman Reigns. Reigns said that he is the most successful superstar that Punk has ever run into. He's the tribal chief and he's done everything under the sun in the business. Reigns said we know Punk can't do it in the ring. Reigns said you're not faster or stronger than Reigns. Reigns said you are a tryhard that makes everybody look terrible because at the end of the day, Punk is old. Well, out of everything that Roman Reigns said, the one thing that triggered CM Punk was the old. As soon as Roman Reigns said that he was old, Punk smashed Reigns with a forearm to the head, and then the official went up to stop the fight from breaking out. Reigns is laughing as he got back to his feet, and Punk left the ring to end the show. Reigns spoke into the camera saying, "Punk talks a lot, but Punk can't take it. If you talk a lot, you can't take it." I thought Roman Reigns had the better promos here. He sounds more intense. And yeah, they're doing a good job with these promos because it feels personal, with Reigns calling Punk Phil. and it feels like two guys who generally don't like each other, which is great. It's what you want for a main event. But yeah, so that was Raw. It was 2 hours and 37 minutes. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, I'll have to say the good would be the Brock Lesnar moment. The ugly would be I would have to say the ugly was the Maxine and Natty match because that only went like 5 minutes, and I don't know what the point of making Maxine lose every week, but they did show Austin Theory backstage talking to Maxine, so I don't know if that could have anything to do with it. Actually, I'll say the Roman Reigns and CM Punk was also a good moment on the show. And then the ugly would have to be I would have to say the Danhausen segment with the cannon because he only shot like one shirt into the crowd. So, but yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. So it was on a decent show. They had Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and who is Seth Rollins' opponent's going to be at WrestleMania? He wants to take down the Vision, but Logan Paul and Austin Theory are doing a tag team. So yeah, so that is my Raw report. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.